This programme is brought to you by Vitality Health and Life Insurance.
Oh, that's a big collar. Must have lost a Great Dane.
Getting active brings its own rewards.
Look, if you had one shot,
One, two, three, four.
y'all ready for this?
It's the final countdown. When two become one. Welcome to the jungle. We got fun and games. Royal. You can call me Queen Bee. Thunderstruck. Thunderstruck. Let's get cool. We cool in here. Come on, say
Running.
Welcome back. We're at the Wright Robinson College. Our second semi-final game is Thunder against Team Bath. Well, Team Bath have done the double over Manchester Thunder this season, most recently a couple of weeks ago by 3 goals here in Manchester. Don't forget that Bath are the most successful team in Super League history, having won the Super League title on 5 occasions. Thunder have won it twice in 2012 and 2014, and they reached the final in 2016, losing out to Surrey Storm. Some stats for you. I hope you're keeping abreast of all of them. I'm with Pamela Cookie in Tamsin Greenway. And first off, Pam, how will Manchester Thunder approach this game? And just to remind our viewers that their last 3 games, they've come in with below-par performances.
Yeah, it's been close, the close game in the last round against Surrey Storm, losing up until half-time and then pipping that win at the end. They'll be coming into this game having lost twice, but then having had 2 opportunities to play against Team Bath and do some video analysis, do some other assessments on them, ready to come out today. So they'll be coming out with confidence. Thunder always play with confidence. They always feel like they're going to win. So I don't think that has changed at all. Approaching this game today will be about the 60 minutes in front of them.
Well, Team Bath, they must be flying high right now, having beaten Manchester here 2 weeks ago. That will have given them a huge boost. What are you seeing from their side of late?
Well, it's a totally different mental battle, isn't it? Thunder are coming in here going, oh God, can we? And Bath are coming here going, yes, we can. And it's very different. Ebony Usoa-Brown, Serena Guthrie are going to be key today because they are winners, they are internationals, they're world-class players. But look, this should be a really, really tight game. I think they match up really nicely, but there is no reason. Put it this way, Bath won't be coming in as an underdog tag. They'll be coming in very confident, going, yeah, this is the game, we're going to take it, just a little bit of magic and they'll take it away, but never ever write off Thunder, because their gritty, dogged, determined performances have seen them win many close, tight, hotly contested games, and they're at home today.
Yeah, which is huge. I mean, it's going to be a sellout crowd here at the Wright Robinson. There's Emma Dovey, who we were speaking to before, and her daughter Olivia, who's 2.5, is here as well, watching the game. Speaking to Dan Ryan, who's had a massive influence with this side. He's the assistant coach alongside the head coach, Karen Gregg. Karen was watching the first semi-final with us, and she's got her yellow nails, just to point out. She wanted everyone to know that. She's feeling good. The whole team are feeling good. What kind of community feel is there here in Manchester?
It's massive, and you see by the sellout crowd that they have here, they're so partisan. Everyone, it's like they have the whole Manchester.
Yeah, it's a hate playing here, right?
Yeah,
it's so noisy.
Is it like a fortress?
It is a fortress. They've got their drums going, they've got the chants going, they've just got everything going for them. So playing at home, they really thrive on that. It really lifts them.
Well, Kim Kamane has said for Team Bath, she's going to pretend that drum is for her, in fact, when she's shooting for Team Bath. Now, they just had their team huddle. Let's hear from the head coach, Karen Gregg, speaking to Gail.
Well, Karen, semi-finals days can be some of the best, but also some of the cruelest in sport, can't they? What's going to be key for you today?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, semi-finals, we all want to be there, but when we get there, it is probably the most toughest day of the season. So, I mean, key for us, we've got to be consistent over 4 quarters today and ultimately just play our own game, stick to our game plan, and, you know, hopefully we'll get the result that we need at the end of it.
Bath have beaten you twice this season, haven't they? Does that matter? Have you spoken about it this week? Is the slate clean?
Slate's completely clean. You know, it doesn't matter now that it's the 18 games that we've played already gone. And, you know, obviously we have looked at Bath this week because you've got to prepare, you know, as you do. But ultimately, we don't look back at results. We look at the job in hand and what we need to do tonight. And we've made slight adjustments in our tactical plans going into tonight. So hopefully, you know, we can pull it off.
So many strong performances from a number of your players this season, but if you had to pick one player who's got to go out and really boss it today, who's it going to be?
I think Joyce Mvula. You know, I think you look at her across the league this year and she's been one of the most consistent shooters, and she's a real target in there as well as can move. You know, she's a shooter that can offer you a holding shooter, she can offer you a mobile shooter, and I think if we can get her firing and get the ball to her, whether she's holding or moving tonight, then that'll be key for us.
And just finally, you're always a lady who's well turned out. You always accessorise very, very well. Let's have a look at those nails. Yeah. I mean, it's hard to miss them, isn't it?
I know. I keep my nail salon on my hairdressers in business.
Go well tonight, Karen.
Thank you.
Brilliant. Oh, she does make us giggle. Bright, they're so bright. You can't miss Karen anywhere. She's just a determined lady and has got her team ready. They're up against Team Bath in a couple of minutes. Our second semi-final live. Join us after the break.
Getting active brings its own rewards.
Oh dear. Won't anyone play with you?
Brings its own rewards.
Go for the ankles.
I was working in England but living in Spain, so I'd arrived because I wanted to get back to Spain early. I'd booked the flights maybe 2 weeks before, EasyJet from Luton, and I arrived at Luton Airport I think at 4 in the morning, and I was about to board an EasyJet flight to Valencia, and I was in speedy boarding because I had no bags and I'd paid £20 extra, you know, a bit flash me.
And you wanted to get your money's worth.
And literally, it was the last quarter of the game, and I'm like, I've gone to the back of the speedy boarding and it's gone through quick, and I'm watching it on my iPad, and literally the people behind me on the other queue were started to watch it with me because I was getting animated, because obviously we were winning, we were losing, we were winning, we were losing. I was getting really worked up, and then when that last goal in, honestly, there must have been 20 people holding up an EasyJet flight back to Valencia, cheering on, and it was the best moment of my sporting life.
Absolutely brilliant. We love that story, and you can see the rest of that on demand. It's all in the build-up to our World Cup. Every match live on Sky Sports. The start date is the 12th of July. We cannot wait. Tracy Neville is here today in the crowd, and we'll try and catch up with her later on. But Jess, there'll be last week, some memorable moments for Jess, receiving so many treasures and flowers. 20 years at Team Bath. We all celebrated with her. She's been such a massive part of the team. She's speaking to Gail right now.
Jess, you've worked so hard to be here. You've had some really big, high-pressure games, haven't you, over the last few weeks? How ready are you to make it all worthwhile today?
I think the team are in a really great place. I think the last couple of rounds we've really built some momentum, and in quite different contexts as well. We obviously came up here 2 weeks ago and were really under the cosh and went down really early in the game, but then managed to get over the line in the 60 minutes. And then last week we worked really hard, started really well against Pulse, and built a really healthy scoreline and got a lot of goals on the board. So I think, yeah, last couple of rounds I think we've built momentum, and we haven't had our full squad available really until halfway through the year. So I think to have built that momentum at this key time is a good place to be.
Karen Gregg says the slate's clean, but you must take a huge amount of confidence from having beaten them twice this season.
Yeah, I think a lot of people have asked us that. It's obviously been the talking point because we have managed to get over the line against them both times, but it's by the smallest of margins. So I think it's the right thing for this team, because we can take confidence because there's evidence about going about our work against this particular opposition and style of play, but there's no complacency in this group whatsoever. So we know, in one way, Karen's absolutely right. We have to wipe the slate clean, bring along with us the good bits from those two fixtures, but take nothing for granted at all.
When I asked her about her one key player, the one person that's really got to perform if Thunder are to win, it's Joyce Mvula. For you, who is it?
It's not, honestly, we won't get over the line with one key player. We really won't. I think we need to stay above the line as a whole group, and then I think we've got some excellent players that have come into real form. I think there's been a lot said about our shooting end, and both Kim and Soph got players of the matches last week and have formed a really great partnership, and Ebony and Summer also, but our mid-court, it's a real collective effort, and however cliche that may sound, one player tonight against Thunder won't be enough.
They won't tonight.
Great to hear from Jess. The players are out on the court now. The atmosphere in here is electric. If this doesn't get you going, then absolutely nothing will. Let's show you these starting lineups with the home side first. Pam's here with me. Any surprises, Pam?
No, this is pretty much the starting lineup you seem to think. Manchester Thunder really galvanised. You've got the core with Liana Liotta wing attack and Caroline O'Hanlon at centre. They really drive this team from the centre. Joyce Mvula, who Karen mentioned at the start, she needs a good game today. She's sitting in that top 10 in terms of shooting percentages, and she's got a goal attacking Catherine Turner, who feeds her so nicely.
And moving on to Team Bath, Serena Guthrie in that centre position. The best mid-quarter in the world, so many say.
Yeah, definitely, I would agree with that. She is phenomenal. She's surrounded in defence by Ebony Brown, Imogen Addison and Summer Artman. They are a tough defensive lineup in that foursome. On the attacking end, Rachel Shaw, back from her injury, has really come back again and is playing so well alongside the shooting prowess of Sophie Drakeford-Lewis. I love her goal attack, Kim Kamain at goal shooters. Both times they played Thunder last, 90% shooting average.
Well, turning our attention back to Manchester Thunder, Kerry Almond is retiring at the end of this season. Let's hear from her.
Well, Kerry, it's an 11-year career that's coming to an end. Your final home game. What are the emotions like today?
I'm trying to put them to one side, to be totally honest with you, because I think obviously I don't want them to affect too much on court, and I'm sure we'll see what happens after the game. I'm sure there'll be, a few tears or whatever else going on, but yeah, it's a weird feeling, but just trying not to get drawn into it too much today.
Sometimes, though, emotions can take you to another level, can't they? And certainly looking around your teammates, they probably want to do it for you as well, for everything you've given this club.
Well, I think we want to do it for each other. I think that's the big thing today. I think, obviously, some people are making a big thing out of it being my last home game here in Manchester, but at the end of the day, it's about the team, and as long as we get that win at the end of the day, then it doesn't matter if it's my last game, my first game, whatever, really.
It's been a while since you've lifted that trophy. Could there be a better end to a career than that? next week at the Copper Box?
Absolutely not, but one step at a time first. You know, we've got to win this game first and just go out there, put our best out on court, and whatever will be, will be. I mean, it'd be great to end it on a, you know, on a high like Karen did back in 2012, but we'll see what happens first today and then go to next week and see where we are.
And you'll see Kerry on court today. Without further ado, let's get to the commentary box and join Caroline Barker.
Thank you, Di. Hello, everyone. 18 rounds later, and just one game stands between the two former Super League champions and a place in next week's grand final against the defending champions, Wasps. The ball out on court, ready to get underway under the stewardship of Gary Burgess and Jackie Mize, and there are umpires for this one. Special game, not least for Kerry Armand after 11 seasons, her final home Super League game. Will she make it to another grand final and hang another medal around her neck? Standing in her way, the defensive prowess of this Team Bath side. Tamsin Greenway alongside me. When you look at the goals that both these sides have scored in this season, at least that's where it comes down to.
Yeah, it is, and if you listen to Karen Gregg just a little bit earlier, she talked about her key player being Joyce Mavula. I think that's true. Here we go, there's a start. Rachel Shaw getting bowled. Brilliant turnover from the wing attack, but look, Joyce Mavula is such a key down one end, and can they open up this circle down the other end? We know Sophie Drakeford-Lewis is just now the first shot of the game is lethal, but it's her partnership with Kim Kamain, how they open up the circle on a rotation, and can they do that for 60 minutes?
First blood, Team Bath. Those 5 stars on their back representing their Super League wins. Guthrie, quick feet and hand, the little fake ball for good pressure from Kerry Armand. She does that the last 11 seasons.
And that's the feed that I'm talking about. Serena Guthrie didn't feel comfortable in feeding that straight away. She stopped, she faked it. It almost looked really edgy feeding that ball, and yet that's the rotation they need to do. So they can't give that first time flick overhead, but they can once they've opened up the ball. That's tiring for 60.
And we're barely a minute in. The last semi-final blew out a bit, expecting a tight, feisty contest all the way through. O'Hanlon, she'll run all game. Back to Leota, little bounce back into O'Hanlon.
And already the intention from Bath, that full through court defence was solid there. Thunder struggling to get the ball through. It landed with O'Hanlon, but it was under all kinds of pressure. And a nervy first shot from Turner, but that's why Mavula's under the post.
Malawian international, she'll have big shoes to fill when it comes to that Netball World Cup. Good hand and take from Shaw. Then Waika Mwenda, one of the big players on the world stage, won't be there. Injured, we expect her not to be there.
Yep. Yeah, so a great dress rehearsal for Mavula going to that World Cup. I'm sure she'll be putting her hat into the ring along with many players on this court today, going with their respective nations, whoever that might be.
Advantage contact!
Better play from Thunder, that drive from O'Hanlon. She's got a tough day today against Serena Guthrie.
Goalkeeper.
Both super fit.
High five, and that was angry, that passage of play. Drakeford-Lewis pauses, what a ball, cuts them open.
Yeah, both two deep drives from Guthrie to Shaw into the corner, pulled the Thunder defence, but they need to be careful because Emma Dovey was out to hunt that ball. But pinpoint in the end.
Give and go from O'Hanlon. Takes a little pause. Opts to go back to Malcolm. Just finding those options through court.
Oh, Catherine Turner cutting out there, the swing to the top. They went for the triangle, and look how quickly Bath are getting down the end, but O'Hanlon can't keep on side. It looked great that Bath got Thunder to have to swing the ball. They couldn't get that front cut into Turner, which she was so used to seeing. Not looking as comfortable in these first few minutes.
So much body on body, but Kim Kamain shaking them all off, even that drum that she wanted to silence. She's not hearing that at the moment. Centre pass, Team Bath. Drakeford-Lewis came out for it. Shaw, great little offload from Shaw.
And what a lovely ball from Rachel Shaw. They were able to put that ball into backspace because Kim Kamain took forward, then went in. And Rachel Shaw, you know, on one foot, she only had that ball to give, so it was almost she didn't think about it.
Advantage offside, wing defence.
Much better play from Thunder, really direct. They've got to get Leota on the ball nice and early. She's their playmaker in attack. She'll make things happen for them.
Metronome in that wing attack position for Manchester Thunder.
There's the error from Shaw on one foot. Kamei not giving her what she wants, nowhere else to go.
Big play early on, but Drakeford-Lewis spent 10 minutes down on the court earlier with Jess Thirlby, and she said what's impressed her most about that young shooter is her defensive work.
She was feisty last week and against the England captain, Emma Bwezi. She's already started with intention in this game as well. Both her and Shaw on the inset list already. Fills you with all kinds of confidence as an attacker.
Big prospect.
Nice tip from Malcolm there. Bath like to play deep into the pockets, but it does mean it's easily worked out.
Just how they change up that rhythm in and around the circle. Kamei will have a chop from here. Drops through. Doubles the score then, 4 in it early on. Turner came out for it, O'Hanlon again. Goes once, goes twice, and then Mvula too with an option. Leota lands, has a look over the top of Allison.
Forward. That's it, thank you, with her goalkeeper.
It's the call against Artman. And Turner lands out.
Yeah, more comfortable shot there. Thunder a little bit more patient. You know, Bath have come out firing. They've really started to attack them on that defence, so they're really going hard. We saw Mvula have to exit the circle. She doesn't like to do that. She's much more powerful underneath the post.
Thunder had a plus 198 goal difference. Bath plus 66 at the end of the regular season.
Serena Guthrie pointing instructions after what was a lucky second ball. But Bath are popping nicely on the second. We haven't necessarily seen that in recent weeks. Often throwing it away on the second, but they're waiting for Kamei, trusting her. Not the same in the Thunder attack, and look at that, they swung it several times. And even then, it only just got through with a little flick on the post.
But that was all about the conductor, Leota, again. She was bringing Turner forward, drawing in the defence of Bath, and unlocks it for Manchester Thunder. Up the other end, quick hand transition and ball from Team Bath, and Kamei finishes it off.
Yeah, better pop from Mvula. She didn't start in the front position, started on a hold and came round. It's all about that timing. She off-footed Summer Artman.
Short run off at the back of the court. But that's a grin rather than a grimace from Drakeford-Lewis. Thought she might get the call. Malcolm with it, swings it round to Armand, little offload. Alison, that's straight out of Guthrie's book, wasn't it?
It was indeed. Sitting high, wanting to win ball early. We've seen a lot of that today, especially in the first semi-final. Caroline O'Hanlon was off balance, but down the other end, the defensive structure as well from Thunder. When Bath don't have the give and go, when they don't have the deep pocket ball, it's when they get themselves into trouble. And there's the first held ball of the game.
Even the ball needing a breather, such as the intensity in this first quarter. Another good land from Dovey. We talk so much about the spectacular and all eyes on those attacking and flair players, but it's the defensive players at the moment putting in those breaks, getting those turnovers for their side.
Unlucky from Summer Artman. Mvula having a clap there, but she knows that was a close call.
Yep.
He's called Summer Artman for obstruction. That'll be as she came round.
Contact goal defence with your leg.
Gary Burgess with the clear call.
One step backwards.
All 4 umpires in these semi-finals being judged on their performances in these semi-finals. And then they'll go through to the finals based on their work over these last 4.
So pressure on everybody today.
Even the drummers.
They're really being made to work the ball around. It's just a recovery of the Bath defensive end. Imogen Allison and Guthrie are so quick.
Contact on the ball.
They'll go on that first phase and can get back to the second phase as well.
Obstruction, goalkeeper.
Time again from Mvula.
Obstruction, goal attack.
Evanie Osoro-Brown into Serena Guthrie. So many leaders on this court for both sides. Determined just to keep this score sticking. 1 goal in it at the moment. Main with a little step in.
Yeah, and she didn't really look comfortable on that shot. She looked to pass it out. There was no option there. Stepped in. It's a bit further out of range.
Quickly for me, centre, please.
Serena Guthrie with a very slow, deliberate walk back to Kerry Armand.
I'm not surprised. You've seen the first 9 minutes of this game. they know
already.
They know they've got to play for 60, right?
They can, though. Big engine on every one of these players.
Yeah, and that was a much better hold from Avula. Turner coming right out of the circle, opening up the space, isolating Artman at the back. Avula so lethal when she gets a strong hold in there.
She has to be. You can't give any opportunity to that defensive pairing.
No, and the whole point is you break it. Love that from the Thunder attack end, all having a little breather on the sense pass. They'll tell you it's tactical, but that was a good time to take it.
Good game management. And this for the home side to go in from. Now the Thunderdome gets up on their feet. A goal they nick. Having to think more about it, Team Bath. Using the full court, sure, where is the option? Goes back to Alison. Jermaine comes out to offer. Forcing her out of the circle, she's come to help. Guthrie too. Quick hands and movement again from Drakeford Lewis.
Yeah, Bath relying on that quick ball to break it open. You're seeing Thunder now using a bit more depth and width to open up the Bath defensive end. Bath still trying to play the real quick ball. Beautifully executed there from Thunder. They got the deep pocket. Again, isolated Artman on her own. She needs Usoa Brown in there to help her out. Can't do that if Turner's got the ball, though.
Can't do that either, Laura Malcolm. Physical, body on body. O'Hanlon, hands behind her back, just gives Guthrie the lead.
There's that drum for Kim Kamain. She said it was for her, right?
Yeah. There's a great article in the Australian press and just shows how the Netball Super League has had an impact this season. They're talking about Kim Kamain, talking about how she wants to silence that drum, but if she's using it to her advantage, keeps them ticking. We were going goal for goal, 12 all. O'Hanlon to Turner.
Oh, nice quick ball from Leota, and that's the playmaking I'm talking about. You can't teach that to players. They've either got it in them or they haven't.
It's sensing and knowing where the other players are on court. The eyes going one way, the hands the other. Guthrie with it too. Difficult ball to take for Drakeford Lewis, but she takes it.
Yeah, and again, hesitated on the shot, does the fake, doesn't get enough height on it.
Again, just this defensive work paying off.
Mavula really sliding around in front now. Her timing is spot on. Earlier in the future, oh, here we go, we're going to watch this. Just a lean. She never looked like she was following through on that shot. Really important that you still push the ball through, even when defenders are falling at you. Easier said than done, though.
Yeah, pressure put on by David. And again, from Leota. She was looking all the way across the other side of the circle, but her hands and the ball were going the other way, and Mvula delivers. Now they've got ahead, 3 goals. Last 3 minutes of just the first quarter of the second semi-final. Wasps are waiting in the grand final. Great touch from Malcolm, enjoying it.
Yeah, and it's things like that from Bath. Serena Guthrie asked for it. Rachel thought about giving it, and just the execution. You know, you're living on the edge. If you're constantly having to put ball over the top of players because you have to have the skill level, and we've just seen Thunder do exactly the same.
Hold time.
There we go, look, never enough height on that. Serena Guthrie would be kicking ourselves for touching it, but it was just such a poor ball.
Now the drum beats again. Now the Manchester Thunder fans get behind their side, trying to keep Team Bath out. Kim Kamain, though, looks for all of the world like there's nothing in. No goal, though. Held ball.
Oh, that was a harsh call.
She was shown the 3 fingers.
Yeah, big call there. But look at that pressure again from the Bath defence to give themselves an opportunity. Thunder want to look at that. They'll be frustrated with their through court at the moment.
How do they use the frustration? Sora Brown goes over to her England teammate Serena Guthrie. Back into Imogen Allison, her wing defence position. Edge of the circle from Shaw, the little lofted ball up.
Drakeford Lewis picks herself up. Sneaky little pass there to Kim Kamain. Lots of body on body in that circle.
2 goals, minute and a half.
That's better from Sarah Brown. She dropped in nice and early so they didn't have the quick ball, but then that's the danger. Catherine Turner on her front cut.
That's it.
Gary Burgess was right behind. Great position. And saw that contact coming.
Yeah, it was just late. It's hard to go from a double and then pick up the shooter that's sweeping the top of the circle. Better from Rachel coming back into the space. Lucky there from Evan Dovey. It was definitely the right ball to challenge. It was in the air for such a long time.
You've been part of this Team Bath pathway, you've seen that, but we're seeing the defensive work now that Dan Ryan is putting on. We know that defensively Team Bath can do it, but Thunder at the moment mixing it defensively and up the other end, and Vula clinical.
Yeah, well, Thunder have got a point to prove. They haven't played well coming into this semi-final. They have lost twice to Bath, but it's only been by 4 and 3 goals. It's absolutely nothing.
Another big moment.
I actually think the way Bath started has really fired up Thunder as well, because they came out firing. You know, there was a few sort of looks at each other like, hang on guys, where are you? At our home? No, that's not going to happen.
Seen it from the crowd too, and again, Manchester Thunder come away with it. Last few seconds of this first quarter, Malcolm lands it in, Turner opts to go, the long one to O'Hanlon, and Vula through the air, through the position, through the net.
But it was just the roll, the hold, the timing to come out, and then the beautiful feed in from Thunder. And that's the end of the first quarter, and Thunder are happy, high-fiving. You know, they've got some stuff to work on through the court, but the attacking end are starting to fire.
They were behind, they've come back, and they're angry, and no one likes it when Manchester Thunder have got the bit between their teeth. 4 goals, and it's just the first quarter.
Getting active brings its own rewards.
Ah, lifting a leg. My speciality.
Getting active brings its own rewards.
Go for the ankles.
So a 4-goal lead for Manchester Thunder against Team Bath here at the Thunderdome. 18 plays, 14. We had a little bit of a listen, Tamsin Greenway, to what was happening on the bench. they're impressed by the defensive work both sides. Just want to tighten a few things up.
Yeah, Anna Stenbridge was actually very animated with her defensive unit then, the Bath defensive unit. They were all listening intently. They had to. She was in their face. But she was talking about the ball that's going back and obviously getting in front of their players and getting back around when the ball's been played around. And I think then you heard Imogen Allison just talking with Usoa Brown and Summer Artman about what she's feeling when the ball's landing and what they can do to help as well. And we talked about when Artman got isolated, you know, it was going in easy to Mavula. They know they have to win ball early, and if it is being pinged around, what ball is it they're trying to stop?
A reminder, Wasps await the winner of this one in the Netball Super League Grand Final next weekend. For the moment, though, all eyes on this second quarter. Caroline O'Hanlon with ball in the hand for Manchester Thunder. Already a look-up court. Blue and gold trying to put on that big defensive pressure again, Team Bath. Leota with the drive, finds the space. Unorthodox, accepts the ball, wants the call too.
Yeah, it's a close one, that. Interestingly, when Bath make Thunder go back up on the centre pass, they struggle a lot more to get through. It gives them an opportunity to set up.
Got to get those second balls.
Yeah, they have. You want to pick up anything loose, especially when it's this close.
Imogen Allison just feeling her jaw. Doesn't get the call, though. Turner will have a go from here. Who's there for the second?
Oh, another miss.
They get the call for the contact on this one, and Team Bath will build from the back.
Yeah, attacking contact there. I know the foul was a bit harsh. There was a lot of argy-bargy going on into that post. I'm not sure how you can see who's cleanly doing that. But look, Thunder just missed the first two shots.
And now the drum goes again. The Thunder fans sensing it, but Drakeford Lewis, beyond her years in so many of these ways. She reads it, she thinks it, works it out, and then plays it forward. Team Bath now, what can they do? Can they put the 2-goal run on? So Brown, good plank, contact called.
Yeah, interesting. Guthrie landed on the edge. She had nothing in there. She wasn't comfortable. A lot more patience from the Bath side there. They went back to the line. Just look how long she looks at that feed.
I was counting. Gary Burgess was counting. That one sinks. Back to within 2.
See if Thunder go forward on this centre pass. Much more effective when they do.
Delayed for the moment. Malcolm has to go back, and again just gives Team Bath a little nibble.
Oh, and Emma Dovey just having a hobble there. And she just caught a kick to the leg as Sophie Drakeford Lewis came round.
Shaking it off, but we'll keep an eye on Dovey. Ball in hand at the moment. You're right, she just had a little look across at the umpire.
And what a turnover from Serena Guthrie. That's a penalty in to go and third, and Thunder couldn't even go forward. That's what Anna Stenbridge had been asking them to do, get around in front of the players. They did just that, and Guthrie comes out with the ball.
Back to 1. Can't take your eyes off this one. Dovey looks like she's back on her toes, moving a bit better. They'll need her at that end as Guthrie lands it. Quick feet, hands too. Edge of the circle again. Shaw's waiting for it. Look at that movement. Splits the defence. Kumain takes it.
Yeah, they were working together in unison then. Kumain held off a little bit longer, waited for Drakeford Lewis' pull. But still the control from Guthrie. I mean, she wants this game today.
So Bath have pulled the 4 goals back.
Look at Turner not wanting to put that shot up.
Can you blame her? Although she get her arms out, her hands out.
But she needs to take her shots today if they want to win this game. It's got to be a joint effort in the circle. They can't just rely on Mavula. You already saw Bath drop on the double in the first one. Both on sort of equal percentages at minute 80, 81 and 82%.
Drakeford Lewis, the calm little look in. One of the potential hopes for Tracy Neville, perhaps, for the future England team. Very much eyes on the current team. Couple of worrying injuries over the past few hours for England. Liana Leota's down on the floor, and Bath recycle the ball. Guthrie fires it into Shaw. She's been impressive at wing attack this season, but there's O'Hanlon. Read it like a book.
Yeah, Guthrie hesitated. Hanlon smelled that a mile off. She was like, I'm in there. I'm going to come through, and she's going to take that.
You'd have never done that. Asking the umpire again, just so you can have a little breather.
has it.
Can we go for a conversation? Sit down on the bench.
Maybe in my later years.
I won't have it.
Again, good look at that hesitation from Turner there. She had a penalty. They had a cannon shot, so Artman went in. Ebony Brown then went in for a jump. Offloaded to Mavula. They were lucky to get away with it. She needs to feel confident on the shot, and she's so good on the shot. It's so surprising to see when she crumbles.
Drakeford Lewis again just drawing that defensive end away, allowing Maine to open up. Manchester Thunder and Mavula. It's quite a slow motion ball, that one.
Calling Drakeford Lewis for the contact again. I thought she was smart there with how she came through. You can see already Bath putting that pressure on the ball back to the line.
We'll hear the thoughts of England coach Tracy Neville in just a moment. Former Manchester Thunder coach too, watching on at the moment as Mvula makes sure that one goes through. So let's hear from Tracy. She's with Gail.
Thanks very much. It is so noisy down here. The atmosphere is quite amazing, and what an incredible semi-final we've had so far.
Oh, unbelievable. I don't think I've ever drove so fast to get to this one, and yeah, and this is incredible, and I think netball's won today, I think.
Pace, intensity, it's a real step up from what we've seen, isn't it, week in, week out?
Oh, just the professionalism of the players, and even the game before, like Loughborough and Wash, it just took one slip and then Wash just take the game on, and just the way they were just hard-fought game, and this one as well, I think it's going to go to the end, hopefully.
What have you made of the opening quarter and a bit? Because Bath started so well, but back came Thunder.
Yeah, I think this is just a great example of how momentum can change in a game. Bath really took it to Thunder. They couldn't get through the defence, then Thunder adapted. Again, then Bath started to make mistakes. I do think this is going to be a defensive end one. I think the defensive end of Team Bath at the moment is going to take its toll on Thunder, and they're just going to have to persevere through that.
So who's going to win? Who's got that better defensive end, Tracy?
Well, if you look on paper, you would say, obviously, Team Bath. However, the experience of Thunder, obviously, they come out, they've nailed it, they've been in many semi-finals before, so I think it's a case of who wants it more, and with Serena Guthrie in the middle, that's going to be a hard take from Thunder.
It's hard to not back Manchester Thunder sitting right here, isn't it, Tracy? You wouldn't get out of here alive.
No, I think they did get me a free ticket, so...
Thanks, Tracy. Enjoy the rest of the game.
Freedom of the city, I think. I don't think she needs a free ticket. And there's that interception again, as Tracy Neville was saying, the defensive work of Team Bath. Summer Artman standing up.
Well, so much happening in both the defence ends. So every time an attacker looks down the court, something looks open. The speed of players like Dovey and Malcolm to cover it down the other end, Allison and Nasoa Brown, and suddenly you have to change your mind. And we just saw that with the intercept off Leota's pass. You don't see her do many loose passes, but that was interesting. She's on one foot. She couldn't change her mind. And I know coaches harp on about basics. In a game like this, it's so important. Have you got your feet down? Can you see three options? Are you in control of the ball?
Remember the words of Tamsin Greenway. You can be part of it too at Sky Netball for your thoughts. Good take from Mvula. Great splits the landing and showing her range. Karen Gregg for many years partnering up with Tracy Neville. Now coach the Manchester Thunder. Can she lead this team back into a grand final? Guthrie opts to go back to Imogen Allison. Does well to wrestle off Caroline O'Hanlon. Intriguing battle between those two.
There's the hold, and just over the top of Kerry Allman there. Kim Kamain trusted it. Rachel Shaw looked at it, gave it with some intent, but just more patience from Bath as they swing it back to the line. There's a nice collision. Guthrie being called, I think, for the offside there. She had every right to go for it. The ball's in the air. I know they're giving her a contact.
O'Hanlon shakes off the photo for the sponsors and makes sure that ball gets back inside that circle. Hartman thought she might get the call then.
Yeah, hands up there, begging, pleading to Jackie that maybe she got that one cleanly. She did come around the body, but deemed to have contacted as she did that. But it's those little tips and flicks that start getting in the mind. It delays the feed in.
Reminder, Bath have had the better of the last two games in the regular season. They were 24-27. There's 3 goals in it last time. There's a player that wants to end her career with a win in the Super League. Oh, and Guthrie, sensing that momentum was just shifting, tried to have a go back.
Yeah, what an intercept, an important intercept from Arman, but not rewarded down the other end. You can see Mavula there talking to Jackie, sort of saying she's being held, there's arms on her. It is an attacking contact, you've got to play to the umpires.
Trying to keep the flow going at the moment. We haven't heard a lot of pinging.
Goal defence from your leg.
No, not at all. And
that's a short pass.
Gary Burgess with the short pass, so shooters down either end, letting their attacking side down, you know, they're kind of unforgivable errors.
Just under 5.5 minutes of the first half of this second semi to go. Ball in hand for Manchester Thunder. Vula comes out for it. O'Hanlon couldn't stick it. Drakeford Lewis is there. Head down, run into the circle. She runs like a long-distance runner, a bit of the Paula Radcliffe's about her, Drakeford Lewis at times, but she's doing so much work on that court for Team Bath.
Yeah, she is indeed. And it's starting to look like an effort. This half-time break is not going to come soon enough for some of these players. There are bodies flying everywhere.
That's why it's got scrappy, isn't it?
It has indeed. They started out with such intensity. You know, to be able to keep that up for 60 minutes is hard. Also the mental pressure, because so much defensive effort is coming out. Can they see what's on? Hey, Drakeford Lewis looks tired out there. She's still got 5 minutes to play in this quarter. It's a tip from Owen there, and it's just that tiredness that starts to creep in. Lack of positioning, lack of off-the-body movement.
Feels like this passage of play, for them at least on court, has gone on for about 4 hours. Now the ball goes back to go forward. Having to work every inch, every muscle on the court. O'Hanlon with it again. Coming together between Guthrie and O'Hanlon, but the call actually came earlier up court, and Thunder got on with it. They'll have the ball.
Yeah, it's a really good trait about Thunder's side is that they don't often get involved with the umpires. They're quite happy to just turn, get on with the game, and do that. And so much better from Catherine Turner. She looked like she actually wanted to go to post.
He said it's much better when they turn. When Catherine Turner had it then, it was a bit of a confidence shot, but there's Drakeford Lewis halfway through a marathon. Shaw with it. Big gap had opened up with Drakeford Lewis heading up court. Split that defence again. Kamain takes it.
Yeah, and every time you think Thunder have a sniff of going ahead, Guthrie comes in with another tip, and it's game on.
Their centre pass again. This to draw it back level so many times, as it's already changed score in the lead again, but Thunder aren't giving up. This one, Allison takes it back again. Keep your heads, keep calm. Just lost the hands on that one.
Well, what an inset there. Frustration from Allison to Summer Hartman, because she thought she was in position. She needed help. But look, down the other end, it was another tip from the Thunder defence. And another attacking contact.
Ah, they're booing, they're getting involved. And this time against Leota.
And I said they didn't get involved with the umpires.
That was just to try and clear it up. It has been scrappy this past few moments. Last few minutes, 25-24. This for Bath. Team Bath to go back level.
Yeah, and cool and calm from Kamain. She was left open. She shuffle-shotted that into a position she was happy with.
Your favourite move.
Yeah, because I can't shoot.
Oh, look at that ball. Look at the splits. Here's someone who can shoot. Thank goodness that went through, otherwise I'd have egg on the face. And
a moment of magic from Leota, telling Mavula then as well to stay and hold, give her an option like that, and she'll put ball in, get it all over the mat.
Obstruction goal attack.
Good take, Kamain. Very calm in that circle. Guess what? Back all square again. Oh, the call! Anna Stenbridge on her feet. Jess Thirlby sticks, but applauds that one from the Team Bath bench. Allison has a look over the top of Leota. Sarah Brown too, wrestling her team forward. Shaw's on the floor. She'll get back up in just a moment.
Offside.
An offside call from Leota.
Touch of the
Guthrie
transfer
turns to the
in the
line,
goal
nothing
third.
on really. Great positioning from Turner and Leota. But went offside. Oh, and what a take from Emma Dovey. All the ball they've got in there has been flat ball back. Have to look at that.
But that combination from Dovey and Armand, they know where the other is. All these years playing together in the Super League, making that count for the moment.
Yeah, and a nice roll from Avila. Better from Turner. Just look at this. You know, it was never on. Such a poor feed into the circle. Emma Dovey taking a chance.
Hold time. Goal attack, there's a caution, obstruction.
Caution now against Turner.
Time stop.
So Leota and Turner with cautions to their name.
Yeah, getting a bit over-eager. Definitely obstructing, slowing back down.
What it does do, though, if Bath do take their time, is whether there's any time for Manchester Thunder to go back up the other end. Still time on that clock. Can the defence do what it's done throughout this first half of both these sides and hold them up again? All square, 27-27. Harman had a go, and Vula wasn't giving that one up and drops it through. Now the last seconds.
And the confidence from Leota to do that. She just had a word with Mavula and asked her to stay on camp for the same. And that's where they're lacking. At one end you can turn and lob it in, down the other you have to work it.
It's only the first half. It's only the first 2 quarters. But the Manchester Thunder fans cheered that like they just won the final. There are so many tight calls on court. They're walking that tightrope, Tamsin Greenway, and at the moment it's Thunder just ahead. Gail, how's the heart?
Thanks very much, Caroline. That was incredible, wasn't it, in terms of first half, the pace, the intensity. Give us a sense of what it's like out there.
Yeah, look, it's tough, but it's exactly what we expected. It's like this even a couple of weeks ago. So, look, it's a great game, but it's disappointing to come off 1 or 2 down, and we needed to get up on that, so it's disappointing, but we've got a whole half to go.
You started both quarters brilliantly. You turned over the first centre pass. That sets the whole tone. You've got to somehow find a way of holding on to it for 15, aren't you?
Yeah, absolutely. And look, we're building. That was another good quarter, man. The margins are so small out there today, so it'll be interesting to see who comes on top at the end.
Go well in the second half. Thanks very much, Emma Dovey. That must really feel like a semi-final. That was like nothing we've seen all season, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think I was just saying then that semi-finals are obviously is so tight this year and they're just so unpredictable. So you just got to try and peak at the right time and yeah, pull out a good performance.
Tracy Neville said it's going to be the best defensive duo that wins it, and experience could count. That points to you, doesn't it? What do you need to do second half?
Yeah, I think we're turning over quite a lot of ball. We just need to be a little bit more careful with it through court, and hopefully, yeah.
Well, go and have a rest. Well deserved. Brilliant first half. How lucky are we? We get to do it all over again in the second half. Thanks, Emma.
Tough, tight, unpredictable. It's everything we've seen this season. At the moment, just a goal in it. Still another half to go.
Getting active brings its own rewards.
Lifting a leg. My speciality.
That must really feel like a semi-final. That was like nothing we've seen all season, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think I was just saying then that semi-finals are obviously is so tight this year and they're just so unpredictable. So you just got to try and peak at the right time and
brilliant first half.
Everything we've seen.
Brilliant first half. How lucky are we? We get to do it all over again in the second half. Thanks, Emma.
Getting active brings its own rewards.
Go for the ankles.
This one is so tight. Both teams are so hungry to get to the grand final. It's been end-to-end stuff, and 18-14 after 15 minutes. At the moment, my goodness, Thunder just leading 28-27. Pam Tamsin, it's taken our breath away. How did you describe the first 30 minutes there?
Electrifying.
Yeah.
Like, the players were going out so hard right from the off whistle, and as Tamsin was saying in commentary, can they keep this up for full 60 minutes?
No,
they were literally...
they can't. They were dying out there. They needed the break.
They needed the half-time, but the intensity was phenomenal, and it's great. It's a must-win game for both teams, so they're going out hard.
At those energy levels, do you expect any changes?
If you've got impact changes, yes. I think Bath might struggle because actually I think Sophie Drakeford-Lewis that was starting, she'd done so much work attacking and defensively. She needs this break now. I wouldn't change things.
No.
I think both teams are so in it. It's so intense. To put someone into that mess right now be a bit of a nightmare. I'd tactically do some stuff as a coach. I hope they can come and perform in the third quarter and then look at maybe doing it going into the fourth. Maybe.
We're exhausted watching it. It's so thrilling now. Pam, what have you seen? What clips have you got for us?
So I picked up 3 in the first quarter for Thunder. I thought how they came out, they rode that initial wave of Bath, but then their patience in this clip, how they spread the ball round, they do it on the 3 second, they do it on the 2nd second. Liani Leota again, just using her smarts and then drawing the lovely drive forward from Turner, opening up Mvula in that backspace. The next one again, showing that patience. But then I'm loving that from Liani Leota, that magic. She just no-look pass, off one foot. Coaches hate that, they want you to be balanced, but she has that skill to be able to deliver that pass. And this third one again, another no-look pass from Leota. Shuffle shot with Turner, just playing with the defenders, and then using Mvula in that backspace.
Team Bath, what should you make of their centre passes?
I think for me, Team Bath, defensively they came out firing, which we knew they would do. From an attacking point of view, they're just a bit predictable. So they want to go deep into the pocket, and it's how they learn from that. In the first quarter, everything they wanted to send was long into the pocket. Thunder started to get the mix of that and pick ball up. I thought in the second quarter they adjusted. They used the line a lot more. You saw Guthrie land on the edge, didn't force it in. She decided to go back to the line. And I think from here they're going to get some balls. So yeah, we're looking at the Bath comeback. It's because they were far more patient in the attack end. They used the line, they didn't get giddy, they let Drakeford-Lewis. That's why she's tired, because she did so many drags and draws. And actually Kamain stayed in the circle a bit more, so they had a bit more of a target. It's just tit for tat at the minute. There's the Bath defence there. They're covering everything so hard in front. It's just allowing them to come through on some ball. And with Imogen Allison and Serena Guthrie, they're lethal. But it is their attack end for me that needs to keep cementing what they're doing.
Okay. We heard from Tracy Neville. It's so brilliant to have the England head coach here. Slightly nerve-wracking for the players having a watch. She said she thinks that Team Bath have a better defensive unit, but in terms of overall experience as Manchester Thunder, and obviously being here, she has to support Manchester Thunder.
She's come up through the ranks there.
But defensively, both sides are so strong right now. Are you agreeing with Tamsin that it's all to do with the attacking end?
Definitely. As I say, both sides are strong. Thunder are coming out with a lot of ball, but it also is because the Bath played. They're giving them the ball at times, not using the lofted pass where needed, and letting the Thunder defence set up on them. They need to keep moving. It's tiring, but you have to keep moving in terms of how they play with Kamain and
Exactly, but it's the timing of doing it. You can just do pointless runs and nothing happens. It's how you play off each other. So when they're successful in the circle, Drakeford-Lewis pops and Kamain's on the hole to pull into the space. If they both just run, nothing happens, and then you're relying on some genius pass, which is so hard to do for that amount of time under that kind of pressure.
And it's very rare that you can get that off and it be accurate.
Completely, which is why you're seeing such a tight game.
Yes.
Caroline O'Hanlon, I mean, her work rate is formidable. So they're warming up for the third quarter, and this one's intense. Just one goal in it. We'll see for the third quarter in a couple of minutes.
Getting active brings its own rewards.
Lifting a leg. My speciality.
Getting active brings its own rewards.
I thought you weren't allowed to walk with the ball.
All I've got are noises to explain that first half of this second semi-final, but you've got beautiful words at Sky Netball. Ellen says this looks like the most exhausting game of netball ever. Has it really only been the first half? Can they keep this up? That was an insane 30 minutes, says Suze. Sarah says pure class. Lots of you responding about how tense and amazing that first half was. Deep breaths. We've another 30 on the way. Tamsin Greenway, you worried perhaps about whether they can keep it up? Do you look then to the bench, and where do you think the strengths are on each of these benches?
Well, we were just talking about that, and it's difficult because to introduce anybody into this point of the game is hard because it's so manic out there, and to try and get somebody in, especially in the attack end, to go, oh yeah, just go out there, you'll be fine. It's only Guthrie, Allison, or down the other end likewise. So look, I think Drakeford Lewis for me needed a rest. She'll have got that in 10 minutes. These are pro athletes, they should be able to last 60 minutes. But the work rate they put out there and the way they battle and the matchups, you can see now why the league games have been so tight.
One goal in it. The last two league games, Team Bath have had the better of them. But this Manchester Thunder side have shown in this first half, desperate to win on home soil. Malcolm with it. They start with ball in hand. She opts for the long ball into O'Hanlon. The power behind it meant the little lofted ball from O'Hanlon finds Mvula and Super.
Yeah, and great patient play. O'Hanlon with the cut and drive there, beating Guthrie, and what a matchup that's been tonight. Serena Guthrie and Caroline O'Hanlon, two of probably the fittest players in the league. Kerry Armand read that mile off.
Kerry Armand, one-word legend, they've said on Twitter. This her final season, her 11th for Manchester Thunder. Serena Guthrie trying to go toe-to-toe, though, with Leota. She adjusts her dress, shakes her head, goes to the back of the court. Fooling no one with that pass. O'Hanlon with it back. Nice 1-2 with Turner. She uses the ball just to create some space. Artman with the contact against Mvula.
Yeah, and a really good start. Just look at this. Imogen Allison only had eyes for Guthrie. Kerry Armand knew it, and that's the backspace I'm talking about. I know you've got to get depth in netball, but not if it's completely signposted.
Allison on the slide then.
Oh yeah, getting back into the game. Opened up Leota to the top. And look at that hold on Artman. Changed the positioning there, went into the backspace. She's so elusive because she can do it all. She's got great elevation. Oh! Very late call there on the contact. Rachel Shaw just taking a moment.
Leota picked up that caution in the first half.
On the ball, goal attack, both out, step back. Yes.
Umpire's just trying to calm things down. Someone needs to.
What's your obstruction on the way through?
Over there trying to stop the roll from Drakeford Lewis at the top. Just got a shoulder into her instead. Drakeford Lewis felt that one. Yeah.
Rolls right round the back.
Yeah, and unlucky there from Leota. To be fair, it was almost like she came in, she didn't actually touch it to start off with.
Leota went for a run, but Thunder have to go backwards. And that first half definitely better when they went forward on that centre pass and didn't give Team Bath that opportunity to regroup.
Yep, but they're using the 3 seconds now, which is what I like. So they are going back, but they're going back with intent. They want to go back to open up the cut to the top of the circle. They're using it properly. Clearly
None of that felt rushed, did it?
No, it didn't. It was so much calm. It was like, oh God, there's nothing in front, I've got to go back. You know, if you're going to use backup, use it for a reason. Oh, nice play from Bath, and again that calmness from Rachel Shaw. She looked at pocket, interested Dovey. Sophie Drakeford Lewis open under the post.
Important goal that for Team Bath. Just a little window had opened.
And that's the ball that Bath need to start to watch. Artman isolated, ball coming in from much further distance, which means Thunder are getting more confident.
How do they adjust that?
Change the keeper. That simple. If you're getting on a hold, if ball starts to go that easily and that quickly, you've got to make a change.
How long before they make the change? Been consistent with their starting a 7 Team Bath. So much pressure being put on out there, so much running done in that first half.
Contact, goal defend.
But it's more interesting how hard they're being made to work down this end. They've not had anything easy this quarter.
And then they get the contact call. Interesting, she wasn't doing that in the first half. There was a real deep breath from Kim Kamain. She sensed the importance of that one, and Allison too does well to recycle the ball for Team Bath. They needed that.
They did indeed. And just this through-court ball has been a pain for both sides tonight.
It's good work from Guthrie drawing the ball. The caution against Malcolm. She did apologise straight away. Brilliant facial expressions just off camera from Serena Guthrie. I think she knew it wasn't meant.
Yeah, she knew as soon as she did it. Probably not the best move.
And there's a pretty important game for one side of Manchester with the feet coming up this weekend. But at the moment, just need to settle things down. Back to within 3, but...
Yeah, players will be happy for this little break here.
Not saying that was intentional. Just overcooked. The ball back to the centre pass.
There you go, that's that better play. Opened up Leota, and what a feed into Mavula. Just the use of the backspace again.
I mean, come on, it's so difficult with all those arms around her. The lean she had to put on too.
Oh, she's
brilliant.
She's been class this season. It's what I think's been quite amazing the last few weeks with Thunder's performances, because, you know, we've seen them chop and change the circle around, and you're wondering what Mavula's been doing. But I think for me, it's what's happening out the front. They opened up Emmadova, which gave Leota more time to drive, and it changed everything. Look at them using that one extra backup, and then bump, they're open. There we go, top of the circle and in. Look at that patience. There's nothing you can do about that.
Such are the splits on Mvula as well. She straddles both sides of the court and still positions herself. 4 goals, now back open 2. Another big moment of play for Team Bath.
Better shot from Kamain. You see the difference down that end. When she comes out, she starts to open up the space. It's important for her to do that because they're not getting the drives that they want now. Bath to the edge. Take by O'Hanlon.
And again, just being clinical, Manchester Thunder at the moment. They last won that Super League title back in 2014. It was 2013 for Team Bath. But they do have 5 titles to their name. Those hits still going in.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of contests out there. Both teams coming through. I don't think there's been anything unnecessary. And I'm actually liking what Gary Burgess is doing down that end. He's letting quite a lot of contests go. Saw Leota a minute ago. Oh, Toby. Oh, no. You want those rebounds. You saw the whole bench put their hands on their head.
Well, because they sort of knew, because Kim Kamain looked beaten the minute she put that up. Here she goes again.
Yeah, but I'm liking Gary Burgess. He's letting a lot of contests go. Leota just had his little sort of arms in the air a moment ago because Mavula got the ball but felt she'd been hit. But, you know, it's important, especially where some of these players are going in the summer. We need to make sure they feel what contest is.
The World Cup in Liverpool. So close now. Still players trying to position themselves. Still a couple of positions possibly up for grabs.
I think the players are getting told tomorrow, but it won't be announced for another week. Do you reckon Tracy Neville's still on the fence with some people? I reckon she's got it.
Can you say that a bit louder, because she's about 5 rows away from us?
Shall I shout my team out?
If you could just slip her our number so that we could have the squad.
Argy-bargy there from Emily Brown and Mavula.
It's just trying to put that doubt in the players' mind, letting them know that you're there, letting them know if they slip, you'll take it. Good land, sure. Equally good ball into Kim Kamain. Smooth passage of play.
Well, that's the magic from Bath, and that's why you can never write them off. Because when they get their timing right, their players have got so much flair.
Leota goes back to Malcolm. Nelson tried to just get something on that. Still Manchester Thunder take it away.
And you're seeing Leota come a lot higher up the court now. She's having to help them get the ball through. That was better from Evisona Brown. She knew, Catherine Turner, where she wanted to go.
Oh, there was a hip check in there. They had to ride that. The attacking end of Manchester Thunder. Just at the moment, not letting it get to them. 4 goals back into it.
And a couple of another slip passages of play from Bath, all started from their centre pass, being able to drive towards the circle edge.
Line is breaking, wing defence.
Just need to try and get a bit more joy on the Manchester Thunder centre pass, but can't when it's like that.
They do. Well, the last 2 passages of play for Thunder have been very much play it around, wait for it to open up. Artman got excited on that one. We've got School straight under the post.
Going through actually both ends, I was going to say, much easier, but those are the sort of moments they've got to just happen, and Guthrie just forced that one, doesn't get the ball.
No, Guthrie called for offside, she went for it, but Kamain, they're the shots you want to nail in these kind of games. It wasn't out of her range. Just feel that Thunder are looking a little bit more controlled than Bath at the moment.
Looks a bit more in their legs as well at the moment too.
Yeah, just with the finishing off, but there you go. Summer Artman says, no way, Tamsin, I'm having that.
And Alison back to Sarah Brown. She just gets the feels, was trying to push her side back further up court. Guthrie has a little sit down. O'Hanlon straight through the back of Shaw, but she rides it. Guthrie back up, takes it. And there was speed on that ball. Kamain lands it.
Every time Thunder have had an opportunity to take this game away, they haven't been able to nail it.
How lucky are we? Still 5 minutes of the 3rd quarter to go. Tight.
Set it up, on the whistle, please. That is contact, goal attack.
Now the sellout crowd sensing that their team need a bit of a lift. On the bench, plenty to think about, but back out to 4 goals.
Oh, poor placement by Drakeford Lewis. No touch on that whatsoever. Luckily, Kamain for her tidies that up.
Kind of feel they're not going to get those rebounds at the moment, such as the strength in that Manchester Thunder defence end. It'll be so clinical.
Indeed, they know how to box out. They're also expecting it.
Causing contact, goal shooter.
Oh, attacking call there against Mavula for causing. It was a bit of a shoulder run through.
She had the biggest of grins on.
I think Mavula, she is a physical player, and it plays to her strength most of the time because she's so powerful under the post. But if you do watch her off the ball, she isn't afraid to sort of have a crack at the goalkeeper and position herself, not always in the most legal way.
Such is the intensity of this game that they're back to within 2, and they've got the centre pass, can draw them back to within 1. Just under 4 minutes of the 3rd quarter to go.
And that's better from Drakeford Lewis, just a bit calmer on the pass.
Contact, goal defence here.
Strong drive from her, Dovey. Had no choice but to try and stop her going through. I'm not sure she'll shoot this one. She looks tired. She didn't even look like she wanted to put that up.
Oh, and that shows it. The first 5 minutes, that one sticks.
It does indeed.
The last few minutes of the 3rd quarter, it goes through the hand. She's putting so much work. We have seen her taken off court for a little bit of a rest previously, but she's been player of the match time and time again for Team Bath.
Contact, goal defence.
So much defensive work is put in by Sophie Drakeford Lewis.
And just look at that from Thunder. Catherine Turner coming right up to the defensive 3rd line to try and win that ball.
Well, while Drakeford Lewis looks like she's out on her feet at one end, Manchester Thunder still ticking up the other. She's offering those.
Just getting the bibs. The bibs are off. But look, when you talk about squad, you look at Thunder, anybody ties in that end, you've got Ellie Cardwell to bring onto the court. You've got Amy Carter to bring on into the mid-court. But when you look at the back bench, you go, well, who are we going to bring on to goal attack? You know, you've got Laura Rudland. At this point, would you want to bring her into that pressure? It's a tough call.
Sometimes they bring Richie on to try and add a little something, but that's not an area of the court where they've got any deficiencies, is it?
No, for me it's in the circle right now. And it's not, I just think Drakeford-Lewis looks tired, and look, she's been involved now in the last two errors, well, the last 3 errors. You know, throwing a ball away, now an attacking contact and one straight through her hands.
Just maybe needs just a couple of minutes just to have a sit down.
Indeed.
That's me, Tamsin, not her. Malcolm over the top to O'Hanlon. She'll play every minute and keep on running.
Finally, Thunder, this is their opportunity.
Bandage offside, centre.
They're making sure of it all. It's almost like they took too long with the decision-making. They were so keen to play around and make sure they didn't mess it up.
Now what can they do? Drakeford-Lewis still in there, still hunting. Oh, the call given against Malcolm.
That was a tough call, that one. Oh, she's given her the offside. Oh, no. So she's given the contact. Felt that Malcolm was in.
We're all finding it difficult to hear. I can't get the instruction across. Contact by the wing defence outside the goal circle.
Yeah, nice clear instruction there from the umpire. It is noisy in here.
Jackie Meisen with the... She's always clear with the instruction, but you're right, it's whether you can hear it. That drum goes again. Shaw with a fake one. Read well. Good work from Drakeford-Lewis. Despite what we were saying, she was instrumental in that passage of play. But the call off court from Tremaine, she says she was given the shove. She says she was pushed off court.
I find it so hard to get it into the circle now. That pop and roll is not working from Drakeford-Lewis. They've got to have another option.
This was the end of the last half, all written over it. Some scrappy passages of play. Who would stand up? Couple of times going for goal. Mvula has another go. And just you needed defensive work there again too.
Stephanie, and finally from Thunder they got the 5-goal lead. You know, they've been playing with this about whether they could pull it away. Bath have been clinging on in there, but that was such an important goal for Thunder.
5 goals, soon to become 6. And Bath were level. They've nudged ahead, they pulled them back, and Manchester Thunder just really showing the legs and the smarts as well at the moment.
Yeah, pushing the back there from O'Hanlon. She's been beaten.
Big goal this, the team Bath.
But look at that penalty position in there. Better roll from Tremaine, but you just feel if they haven't got her under the post, they've got nothing.
Her and the stepladder, nearly. Back to 5, this one's not done. They won't have time, surely. They need the long ball. Just holds it. Sensible from O'Hanlon. Well, big moments in that quarter. We talked about the defensive work, Tamsin Greenway of Drakeford-Lewis, and she looks like she's a little bit leggy. We might see changes heading into that final quarter, but crucially, we say 5 goals is a healthy lead, and they have that healthy lead.
Well, it's better being 5 goals up than 5 goals down going into the final quarter. I'd take that. But look, I think that was an important goal for Thunder. They've sort of played with the fact they're going to pull this game away. They haven't been able to do it, but that last passage of play was really important. I think they're starting to open up Mvula one-on-one into the space now, and then taking full advantage of the lack of intensity that's happening in the Bath attack end.
Intensity on court, off it to Di. I hope you got your trainers on.
Caroline, just to confirm, I have. We both have, yes. So we're allowed on courts. Pam, 44-39. We're just going past Team Bath. In fact, if the camera can turn round and see what's going on right now, quite intense team talks from Jess Thirlby and Anna Stenbridge. What will they be saying, Pam?
She'll be saying to them they need to keep that pressure going on. In terms of their attacking them, this game has been physical. It's tough and they're blowing. And so they need to keep keeping their composure when they're getting the intercepts. As we can see, Anna Stenbridge here talking to the defensive end. Stay hard on your player and then bring that ball through the court. I think they're working really well as a team, but they're letting Thunder get on top of them. They're letting Thunder get that momentum.
There was an error from Sophie Drakeford-Lewis when it was 40-38, which was a turning point because then Manchester Thunder at the other end went to score to make it 41, just little tiny. I mean, she's done so much right throughout the game, so many brilliant sections of play, but just to have one slip-up means momentum shifts, doesn't it?
It's tight, and it's those crucial points when you need those scores to land. You need that goal to go in so you can just keep your team ticking over. And bless her, yes, she's been doing a lot of running, trying to create space for each other. And then when she's getting under the post, she's just taking a breather just at that wrong time where she just needs to do one more move.
But as you say, the work rate means that you're going to slip up at some point. Everybody is going to slip up because the intensity of this is so high as we walk past all the umpires and all the fans here. When we come to Manchester Thunder end, Karen Gregg is with her team right now. And again, if we can see what's going on there, some wise words, I'm sure, but they've got to keep it going for 15 more minutes. What will her message be?
They're definitely doing. We see Liana Leota, she's very vocal in that attack into giving that instruction to her players in terms of them lifting up. They're using Emma Dofi a lot coming through court. She's doing a great job in terms of that pressure on the Bath attack, but also bringing the ball through the court. So for Thunder, I think now it's to keep on that, keeping that pressure. They're seen at 86% shooting, Bath at 88, so it's tight even in that end. So they need to, when they're getting that ball down the court, they're swinging it nicely, getting good patience, and finding Mvula under the post.
Defensively, how impressed were you in that third quarter with Thunder?
Really, really impressed. Emma Dovi, Kerry Armour, they've been playing together for I don't know how many years, but that partnership has developed and they are making it very tough for the Team Bath attack.
Do you think Kerry will actually retire?
I think so. The look on her face.
There'll be a petition for all the fans.
I think Karen Gregg has already tried to keep her to stay, but I think for her, as we saw in her interview at the start of the game, she wants to finish on a high. She wants to take this team with her into that final.
This is a massive 15 minutes for Thunder. Their last final was in 2016. They've won the Super League twice in 12 and 14. Caroline, can this get any more exciting?
Well, if you wanted to hang on to your eardrums, then just turn this down another notch, because they've ramped it up inside the Thunderdome. Sweet Caroline playing perhaps with Caroline O'Hanlon, who at that central position for Manchester Thunder has just kept them ticking over. Don't doubt what this Team Bath side can do already. There's Guthrie and Shaw right in their faces, keeping them down the court. Just got to keep their centre pass going, Manchester Thunder, to make that final against Wasps. Here comes the pressure, though, from Team Bath, making them work it around. Back on their toes in the circle. O'Hanlon, calm, though. Sarah Brown just getting the fingertips, but all she does is serve to pass it back to Turner.
Yeah, and making them work, but still the same result. At no point did they look like they were going to throw that ball away, or did they look edgy? You know, Bath's defence haven't been the problem. It's this final feed in. And it's just a lack of options in there.
Odd time, it's intentional, it's an obstruction. On the whistle, please.
Precaution against O'Hanlon then. And the ball ends up in the hands of Kerry Armour.
Yeah, and she gave Kerry Armour all day to come through on that ball. Emma Dovi, a big leap in front, just put off placement. You know, you've got to hope that Kamane's going to come off onto the ball and look down the other end just to strengthen Mvula has, but she gets her body all the way across. You know, Kerry Armour's very good at sliding in behind and keep you on the side. Yeah, just look at this. And able to put it through. Kamane wasn't clear enough about where she wanted that ball, and Guthrie never looked happy about throwing it.
Mvula comes out for it, and Alison and Leota just manages to jump on the trampoline and get that ball back in.
Yeah, and just moments of magic like that. Leota out of court, being contested, still finds Mvula under the post.
And all of a sudden, out to 8 goals. It's Drakeford-Lewis.
Contact, Senna, you caused that.
Tireless work from her. O'Hanlon again getting a talking to.
Obstruction, goalkeeper.
Kim Kamane to bring the 40 up for Team Bath.
Yeah, and she's been instrumental in that shooting circle for Bath. She's had to, if you look at the shooting attempts, Drakeford-Lewis only put 8 shots up. You know, we're used to seeing her get in the circle and take on the shooting percentage. She's not done that today.
Karen Gregg, she'll have an eye on the time as well. A quick look at her watch. She bought it for $2.99 apparently. She's got the Manchester B on that too.
Bargain.
Head to toe for Manchester Thunder. Sarah Brown though for Team Bath. Bit cleaner for them. Drakeford-Lewis, good 1-2. Oh, just rolls around, but Kamane with a little lift up and the layup too from Kim Kamane. Had that gone in, but still it stands in Team Bath hands, and that was all about the desire to make sure that ball went through the net.
It was indeed, and I've been really impressed with Kamain. Look at this, to keep that ball in court and to have the smarts to put it up as well to keep it alive. Not sure if she went for the shot there, but it doesn't matter, she kept it in, and that's the danger when goal attacks don't have a lot of attempts in the game, because when it comes to the pressure shots,
off their centre pass.
Exactly that.
Team Bath have to play it calm though. Shaw with a little give and go. The motor of Guthrie drove her forward. Kamain was offering the bounce into her. She'll have a go from here. No, she'll opt to just readjust.
That was better from Bath. It was a quick ball in. They didn't allow Armin to come round. And a much better hold from Kamain there on Dovey too.
6 goals. And the centre pass. Anna Stembridge on her feet. Get back. Want the ball.
She was shouting to get that ball back. They took such a time to get it back. Just allow Thunder to set up defensively.
Spanish contact set up. Contact goal defence before.
Now the drum goes again. And like the heart, no doubt, of Kim Kamain, just beats a little bit faster. Desperate to get that ball back was Anna Stembridge, and now wanting to perhaps regroup and slow it down.
Another big play there. We've been watching this battle between Guthrie and O'Hanlon. You just feel in this final quarter, Guthrie's starting to get the edge on O'Hanlon. That's 2 errors from her.
Malcolm sensed it. She went on the fly, but still Team Bath have it in hand. Clever, clever ball and play from Team Bath.
It is, and that's why you can never write them off, because when you have a world-class battler like that, like Guthrie, look at that, she gets her hand on it first. O'Hanlon drops it. She's causing them trouble. Almond out so early. Never going to get on the end of that one. Allows Bath, you'd think, an easier goal here. Oh, it's game on.
Say an easier goal. I'm surprised they can even walk. At times it looked like they're out on their feet, but Team Bath have ground their way back into it. Back to 3 goals. Now the defensive end. Mbula has to come out for Manchester Thunder. Big semi-final. The grand final against Wasps awaits. Another hand in from Guthrie.
We've seen Guthrie do it time and time again for England, haven't we, when they've needed her. She will not let this go.
It was Kamain that was called for contact that time. Oh.
I mean, it wasn't pretty, but it got there. The strength under the post from Mbula and the footwork to control that. Incredible at this point in the game.
Oh! Now they stand. Kerry Armand in her final home game in Manchester Thunder colours, her final Super League game, gets the call, has the ball. Reluctantly, Serena Guthrie goes back to stand next to her.
And Guthrie giving instructions to Drakeford-Lewis, you do not want to be taking balls like that. It was so signpost across the corner, it's just that lack of experience, unfortunately, in the attack end. Here we go, Kerry Armand had all the time in the world to read that.
We have to think, says Guthrie. They've had time to think at the moment. An age to drop through. And the centre pass again. They snuck back into it, but Manchester Thunder are back to 5.
But you can't help but feel just letting them get out to 8 at one point there. Thunder.
Drakeford-Lewis.
Contact, goal of defence.
Oh, he's giving the ball to Drakeford-Lewis.
Thank you. 2 hands on
He's turned around, he's had a word to Karen Gregg, who is not happy with that call. I don't know if we can get a replay of that intercept.
Karen Gregg
Just
wasn't
like
happy.
magic.
Manchester Thunder crowd weren't happy. Tamsin Greenway?
She was in front, but I still think Dovey had 2 hands on it. But, you know, contest is contest.
Matters not, because they got the ball back, this time cleanly.
And look, you have to give some credit to the work rate of Emma Dovey in this team today. We saw Sophie Drakeford-Lewis shine last week. She's had her work cut out tonight, and that's been by the pressure from Dovey.
Mbula moving about like that, circles on fire. Such was the quick speed with her feet. And the result is that Thunder go 6 back ahead.
That's the patience from Bath. And they're making them work so hard to get this ball in.
this important.
Big shot.
Right, they've kept their centre pass. Now they need to put pressure on this Manchester Thunder team, who've been so clinical. And that was a ball like it was the very first game of the season. Like there was no one in here watching. In slow motion, it dropped.
You can't underestimate the experience and the quality of having someone like Leota on your side and what that does for you. We talk about playmakers, the confidence to give that ball at this stage in the game.
Contact centre, Barney drops in the centre third.
Toby again, nearly picking that ball up from Drayford Lewis, but Guthrie, who you want on the edge. And you're just sensing that they're having to work so hard for everything down the other. Thunder having a bit more their own way.
6.5 minutes, 5 goals is possible. But they'll need more of that, and Alison colliding with the board. She'll try and shake that one off. She's fine. Guthrie trying everything. Coming back to Team Bath this season. Great hopes for this side to make the final. Oh! Gift wrapped it!
I mean, she'll take any intercept, but that's probably the easiest one she'll get, and there's 6 minutes left on the clock.
Persistent contact. Over you come. Over here with the wing. Warning for persistent contact.
Leota taking the time to understand that. Next time she's off for a couple of minutes.
Yeah, and just the frustration there from Thunder coming through on that ball.
So the warning against Liana Leota, will that temper her game? Kamain comes out for it. Guthrie using ball and body to try and find that pass through.
And this is the performance you're used to seeing from a world-class player like Guthrie. She was really smart then, she didn't throw it straight away, got Almond dragged out of the game. Drayford Lewis, if there was a time to score that, it's now.
4 goals on their centre pass, plenty of time on the clock. They need to be smart as well as physical. Oh, and they both collide! They both went for it. Drayford Lewis was coming from down court, Kamain from up, and in the middle they meet. Now Thunder have it. O'Hanlon, another one like Leota, has kept this team ticking, and Vula had to come out for it. They're pushing them out the circle, looking for any mistake. Has to bounce around Osara Brown, the England player in there, just creating that wall again, but the puzzle that was in front of them, they've worked it out.
Yeah, they have, and just, we're going to see this intercept here, but look at that total lack of communication, not what you need at this point.
They need to shake that off, there's still time. But Manchester Thunder, at the moment, playing it smart. Good take from Turner, she's just calmly gone about it. Oh, Malcolm.
They're still giving themselves opportunities back, but Thunder just quite happy to play around with the ball at the moment.
Kind of feel at the moment they maybe need the crowd to be a bit calmer, because it's just getting a little bit ahead of themselves. Just playing it calm is better for Manchester Thunder. But there's the roar, they'll forgive them that.
It is, and you saw Osara Brown and Summer Altman double on Mavula for quite a long time in that passage of play. So there was nothing on, but the minute the Thunder attack saw that Osara Brown had exited the circle, they let it go into Mavula.
What's going through her head? Is she planning for next week? 4 minutes. Still time for Team Bath. Oh, time when you can find a pass like that. It's a big ask, but they've got to be quick on this transition to get it away from Manchester Thunder.
They have, and the problem is they don't have the quick feed into the circle, but intercepts like that will help. Miscommunication from Thunder. Big goal this for Bath.
Contact goal defence.
Just delays things again.
Smart play at this point in the game, right? Go for it.
Kamain will need this one. She'll have to hope it drops. The 50 up, 4, and their centre pass. Reminder, if we're all square, into extra time we go.
That side.
Just find that was much better play from Kamain. Why shouldn't she be moving on like that on Almond? She's been wanting to do a hold, and they're not happy feeding it, but when she opens it up like that, lethal.
3 goals, 3 minutes, but the ball's in Manchester Thunder hands. They've been so sensible, particularly in this quarter. Just need to work it, probably walk it as well, given the speed around court.
I mean, the speed has definitely dropped off Imogen Allison. And that's the problem with you being too cautious. You give them another opportunity. They're still going to attack the game.
All the time eating into that clock, though. Guthrie wrestles for it.
Oh, O'Hanlon. Fantastic take from O'Hanlon.
Sounds like someone will call for the doctor in a minute.
They'll show you where.
Her other job, O'Hanlon just looking for a bit of a wipe up of the sweat.
Great body position there from O'Hanlon to get it away from Guthrie's hands. And you just
Time has
feel,
been held.
but you just feel with this goal, if Thunder can take this one, they should be able to see the game out. But you know what, who knows?
Leota's just taking her time. She'll be able to shine my shoes in a minute. She's just making sure. Come on, everyone, have a breath. Take your time. Oh, and then she pulls one of those.
She does. Really cool and controlled by Leota, waiting for the jump from Asawa Brown, saw the backspace, in it went.
Need to be quick again. Just for a moment, thought Kamain might have a look. Too far out. A step further in, and drops.
Bath keeping the pressure on her, Hammond suddenly jogging back to the centre circle.
Goal attack, that's persistent breaking. It's a caution in the centre circle. The ball's in the centre circle, it's you.
Drakeford Lewis, but it just shows the work that she's put in throughout this game, throughout this season. One of the real standout players for Team Bath.
Thunder happy to play around with this ball at the moment.
Why wouldn't you be? Just counts down that clock again.
It's a long time to play around with. I'd rather attack and take the goal. Then what do I know?
How many is it?
Oh, I mean, 7? Something like that.
Leota with it. Her team hunting another Super League title. And then Mvula puts it through. Now too much for Team Bath. Now the Manchester Thunder fans believe that their side are on the way to the copper box to take on Wasps in that final. The heart hasn't gone from Team Bath though. Kamain, who's been instrumental in helping get her side to this Final Four, puts that one through. Greg looks to the floor. She knows surely, even on that £2.99 watch, that even the clock won't beat her. And splits like that from Mvula with the drop through. She knows it's hers now. There go the cheeks, the little puff out, the deep breaths, the head down. Karen Gregg can breathe again. 44 seconds. Bath won't come back from this. They'll end with ball in hand. Drakeford Lewis, there's a player who deserves to be on a winning side, deserves that goal, but just takes a little bit of the gloss off it for Manchester Thunder. They lost both these games in the regular season, but they're about to win the one that counts, the one that takes them through to the grand final. O'Hanlon goes back to Malcolm. The bounce in to Turner, like they've been playing this pressure away all game. Another bounce. They'll end perhaps with ball in hand. No, Asawa Brown, time called.
I failed to see contact here.
We can all take a breath for a minute.
This might be glory ball, but Leota, she just sealed perhaps her shout for player of the match. Again, just wrestling that ball. They're on their feet, and now the emotion flows from Karen Gregg. The embrace with Dan Ryan on her bench. She knows her team are up to the copper box. Kerry Armand then also in tears. Her final home game for this Manchester Thunder side, but not her final game of the season. Caroline O'Hanlon, the battery, the heart at the centre of that team. And Mvula with the dance and the smile. She rode those tumbles and bruises inside that circle and kept that scoreboard ticking over.
Yeah, what an incredible performance from Thunder. They certainly ground it out, didn't they? They made it hard for themselves, but what do you expect in a semi-final? Their worst day has turned into their best day. And, you know, I said it was going to be very tough for any other team other than Thunder and Wasps to make the final yesterday. They've proven why both teams with these semi-finals should be there next week, and what an amazing spectacle this evening.
The fairness of the huddle, but the contrast in emotions as you spin around inside that circle. It tells the tale. Team Bath take the applause of the crowd. They know they fought it. But again, the emotion of Kerry Armand, her 11th and final season in the dress of Manchester Thunder. Liana Leota, who just at that time, when the pressure was needed, took it and breathed it. Gail.
Thanks very much, Caroline. Karen, what an utterly compelling, breathtaking semi-final. I would ask you what emotions you're going through, but I think we can see there's tears, isn't there?
Yeah, I mean, I always do struggle with my emotions, as the girls will tell you, but unbelievable, you know. We had a slow start in that first quarter, but once the girls kind of got over that and they chipped away and they stuck to game plan and, you know, they did a great job.
Even in those final few minutes when you were, 3-4 goals ahead, we were worried for your health sitting watching that game, Karen.
I was worried for my hair. I only had my greys done yesterday.
You're going to rebook for tomorrow, yeah?
Yeah, I think I do.
Give us a sense of what sort of things you were saying. How did you go on and win? It was so tight, wasn't it, for so much of that match?
I mean, ultimately, we just needed to believe in what we've, you know, in the process. We've worked really hard these last couple of weeks in training just to tweak things a little bit. We've obviously lost to them twice previously in the season, and we wanted to just throw out there something a little bit different to give them, you know, some more questions tonight. And I think, you know, that came to fruition, and the girls did a great job persevering with it.
Try and sum up that winning moment for us.
Oh, Jesus. Did the tears not tell you enough? I mean, we've been working hard for this. You know, the last 3 years have been really tough. We were on a massive rebuild in year one, and, you know, we said last year, the end of last year, this year had to be different, and so far so good.
So, the final against Wasps. Last time you won it, you were playing. It's been a long time coming, hasn't it, in Manchester Thunder world for a team that expects to be there every year?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, you know, our target is always to make top four. So to make top four was ultimately, you know, we get here and then you take each job at a time. And, you know, we've got a big job to do again this week. You know, Wasps, we saw them absolutely, you know, out of the blocks today and put out a really good performance against a strong Loughborough Lightning team. So we know they're not going to be a walkover. And we've beaten them twice this season, but as you've seen today, that counts for nothing. So we're back to, you know, 0-0 and we go hard again next weekend.
Well played today, Karen. I'm guessing the lucky nail varnish is staying on for another week.
It's staying.
Thanks, Karen.
Yeah, we all appreciate the grey hairs. It was back in 2016, the last time that Manchester Thunder made a final. 2014, the last time they won it. But this will be a bit of history. Kerry Armand will get a shot at winning the Super League for a third time in her final season. Quick word on Jess Thirlby, 20 years as a player and coach. No golden ending for her. But Manchester Thunder will go up against Wasps in that grand final next weekend. I don't know, we'll be fit, but they surely will be.
Yeah, and what a cracker of a final that's going to be as well. And as Karen Gregg just said, then the slate is clean. It's grand final time now. Both teams thoroughly deserve their place in the grand final. And if anything is to go for this season, it's going to be a cracker.
Sweat, tears, intensity, everything on that court, and now the kids. For Karen Gregg, the grand final awaits.
Just watch. Don't believe me, just watch. Don't believe me, just watch. Hey, 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 oh!
Getting active brings its own rewards.
Oh dear. Won't anyone play with you?
Grand final awaits.
Don't believe me, just watch. Don't believe me, just watch. Don't believe me, just watch. Don't believe.
Getting active brings its own rewards.
Go for the ankles.
Karen Gregg not pulling her hair out, delighted with Manchester Thunder getting through to the Super League final. This is how much it means to her. Celebrating with her staff, it means so much to them. They've worked so incredibly hard, as have all the teams who made the semi-finals. The final confirmation, Wasps up against Thunder, 5:15 next Saturday. A date for your diary on Sky Sports Mix. Carrie Armand has been given some flowers. She's retiring at the end of the season. Not today, though. Not today. Next week it will be. But will she actually retire, Pamela Cookie?
Well, she said it. She's said it with confidence and clarity. Yeah, and a couple of times as well. I think even Karen Gregg is starting to feel like she will retire.
I'm not sure you can believe anybody if they say they're going to retire.
Oh, yeah.
It's easy to come out of retirement, Tamsin. She played so well today. What a performance from Thunder with incredible home support. I can hardly hear myself think. It was so loud in here. Brilliant electric atmosphere. A deserved win, Tamsin.
Yeah, I think it was. Look, Bath fought to the end. Serena Guthrie is instrumental in that. The amount of turnover she got, especially in that final quarter. But just the work rate of Thunder all the way through the court. I thought Emma Dovey was outstanding. She ground down Sophie Draper-Lewis. Almond came out with some key interception when she needed it. The whole team just sort of fought through, and you almost saw them go through that pressure phase where they had opportunities to take it away, didn't, but then came through at the end, and when it mattered, they finished off the game. And I thought everybody grew through the game as well, especially how they fed Mavula and the confidence they did with that.
The work rate today, for 60 minutes, for these girls to play at that intensity, at this level, I mean, role models for everybody.
My God, so good. They were literally from minute 1 to minute 60, they kept it high. We thought at the beginning of the game, can they keep this going? But they did. And they all stepped out there and put that intensity. Such athletes, amazing athletes.
And I know it's something that we probably shouldn't talk about intensity because you expect them all to be full-time athletes and training at that level. But you'd have to remember they're not all full-time athletes. And that level for us this year in the Super League has stepped up hugely. I think that's been because of the England squad in terms of how players back home have been reacting to that, as seeing more players go out into the Sun Co-op and bringing that intensity back as well. So important for our game that those young players are now learning to play at that level.
Yeah, we want to get the game professional in the UK. Gail Davis is with Player of the Match.
Thanks very much, Di, and it's not the first time, is it? We've stood here giving you the player of the match. You've had a few minutes for that performance and the results sink in. What have you said as a group, and how proud are you of your team?
I think we're hugely proud. I think we lost our way in the last couple of games, and we've come together and regrouped and just gained some more confidence going forward. So I think that was the big learning over the last 2 weeks.
Key moments, you came up with the answers you needed to. How did you do that?
I think the last 2 weeks we've actually changed our game plan completely. I think it just makes everyone accountable, so we're all connected at those crucial moments, and it really showed today.
It was utterly breathtaking watching from the sidelines. It seemed a step up from anything we've seen this season. You know, how good is it? How much better was everybody today?
10 times better. I think, like I said, we lost our way in these last couple of games, and we just had to refine ourselves, find that confidence, and today it just showed what we can put out there. But I think it's just another step up going forward to next week. We're going to definitely need it.
Can you go better?
I think so. I think there was crucial moments where I suppose myself let go of some ball that I should have worked to circle edge. I think we could have got more ball defensively, but a huge team effort today. I'm very proud.
Well played. Thank you very much. Congratulations. We look forward to seeing you next week in the final.
Incredibly articulate, and she was all over the court today, Pam.
Oh, she was. And we talk about Leota sometimes as being magical. She's a magician with this ball. She knows just how to put that right pass, as you see there, bullet through there into Mvula. She sucks defenders one way, passes it the other way. But not only is her own physical skill and attributes so great, she gets the rest of her team working at that level as well. And she's always talking to them, always pushing them forward.
Tamsin, you were going to say something?
No, I was saying the way she talks to her team as well, and just the way she played today. At times they needed to open up the game, so she will be frustrated with a couple of bits, but the reality is she came through the court, she started to take ball higher for the team, she dictated off the centre pass, and just when they needed to open up the circle, she didn't lose faith in Mavula at all. I think it was credit to Karen Gregg leaving Mavula out there, not panicking, not making those changes, because Mavula just grew and grew and grew as the game went on, and they really recognised when she was free one-on-one, and then they isolated Summer Artman, and that was really smart.
Yeah. You really did see that with Mavula in the third and fourth quarter, really sort of stand her ground, Pam.
She did, and I think she's such a talented, and we've seen her over the past couple of seasons that she's been in this Thunder team, how much she has grown. And I think the changes that have been made in previous games had unsettled that Thunder attacking end, but this game Karen Gregg kept her 7 on court, started with Mavula, and she can hold well, she can take well, and she can shoot well. So why would you not play such a weapon as that?
Keep your 7 on court, Tamsin Greenway.
Oh, you only have to look at the results today. Look, Loughborough chopped and changed around, it didn't work for them. Wasp finally kept their starting 7 on the court. Greggy trusted this team today, and they came through to her. I know Bath didn't make any changes, but they almost needed to today, you know, for that extra bit of spark. I thought Thunder progressed as the game went on, and they grew in confidence.
Disappointment, of course, for Team Bath, who've worked so hard, and Gail Davis is where Jess Thirlby right now.
Thanks very much. Defeats like that are always incredibly hard to take, aren't they? Is it made worse by knowing that that's the final game for you and Bath?
No, I honestly could not be more proud of that team. If you ask me if I could swap teams right now, I'd still want to be with that team. I'm just so grateful to get to work with a group that did you see that game? Like, it could have been over at the end of the third quarter, and I think we gave ourselves about 3 chances in the last quarter, and we just weren't quite good enough in critical moments. But massive testament. I thought Manchester Thunder were excellent tonight in terms of how clinical they are. Every team in the league knows that Thunder have that ability. So yeah, I just thought it was a fantastic match. I'm really proud to have been a part of that. Of course, it's disappointing to come out on the wrong side, but like I say, we just that extra 1% in those key moments, and we didn't take them, unfortunately.
What was it? Was it maybe a little bit of a lack of experience, a little bit of maybe lack of depth in this squad? We saw Sophie Drake-Lewis, the poor thing, out on her feet at times, but you didn't really have the strength to replace her.
Hey, look, the last few years we've been criticised because we haven't played a starting 7. We've developed a 7 that have been able to front up more often than not, and then we get criticised because we're not making enough changes, and then suddenly we've got no depth on the bench. Every single person in this squad, all 16 players that have been registered at any point for us, have served the club very, very well, and I'm proud of every single one of them. And that 7 did a fantastic job, as did the guys on the bench tonight, and I don't think it was about that. I think we have tons of experience in this group, and it bodes well for the future.
Thanks very much, Jess. It was a phenomenal semi-final, and you more than played your part today. Well played.
Yeah, great depth in strength in depth of the squad. Pam, what will they take from this?
I think they'll take the coming on of Sophie Drake-Lewis for me, how much she's developed in that goal attack position and how much she's come up in this game. I think Kim Kamain played a great holding shoot. We talk about needing a height in the shooting circles just for that easy passing. Didn't have that, but as a team, Serena Guthrie back in, they brought them through.
OK, girls, we're on to the final next weekend. It is next Saturday, Wasps against Thunder, 5:15 at Sky Sports Mix. In one word, Tamsin, who's going to win that one? Pam?
Well, I'd really like Wasps to win, but I'm going to go Thunder just to keep it.
To ask you your predictions right now.
Just to keep it going strong.
Girls, you've been fun as always. What a day. 2 incredible games. Do not miss next week the Super League Grand Final. We'll see you then.
Sometimes I feel like throw my hands up in the air. You've got the love I need to see me through. Sometimes I feel like throw my hands up in the air.
Sky Sports. Feel it all. This programme is brought to you by Vitality Health and Life Insurance.
Oh, that's a big collar. Must have lost a Great Dane.
Getting active brings its own rewards.
Through. In the final, we'll see you then.